Hi everyone. Please just let me know when we should get started. Should we get started?
Are we expecting more people or?
There were about 14, 15 people registered. So I would say let's go ahead and start, but just keep an eye on the waiting room as people kind of pop in and out.
Um, Hi everyone. My name is Irene. I am a high school senior from Atlanta, Georgia, and I am here as one of the representatives from MUN Impact. I serve as one of the co-deputy secretary generals for North America. And here we have my other co-DSG and some of our diplomat team. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Apurva Desai. I'm also a high school senior from Texas, and I'm the other co-DSG for the North American region.
Hey, I'm Faris. I'm a current junior at Winston Churchill High School in Potomac, Maryland, in the Washington, D.C. area, and I'm a current diplomat for MUN Impact.
Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Holkamp. I am a current high school senior from St. Louis, Missouri, and I have been a diplomat for the past 2 months. So.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Ortiz, and I'm from Monterey, California, and I've been a diplomat for MUN Impact for almost a year.
Cynthia, what high school are you from?
I'm from York School.
All right, I'll just jump on really quick. Hey everyone, my name's Matthew O. I'm a 15-year-old high school sophomore from Austin, Texas. I've been serving with MUN Impact for about a couple months now, and I'm a North American diplomat as well as a hub leader for the SDG Hubs program.
Hello. My name is Rebel. Cabetta. I currently live in Toronto, Canada, at West Hill. I'm happy to be here. I've been a member in MUN Impact for I think 6 months now. Hopefully stay longer. Thank you.
Great. So those were all of the representatives from MUN Impact. Oh, of course, we have Miss Lisa Martin, our executive director, and we also have Zoe Fisher here, who is the co-secretary general for the MUNI Global team. So we actually have a couple different like presentations and documents that we're going to be screen sharing. So I'm just going to start with ours, and I'm actually going to turn it over to Miss Melissa and Miss Deborah to speak on their behalf. So let me just start. Here's a presentation that we worked on. Just as a quick intro, we are MUN Impact, a nonprofit working to promote the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals through action campaigns, school outreach, and other conferences, workshops, summits, and different initiatives to bring the global community together.
Okay, and so my name is Deborah Baker, and I am on the board of the Monterey chapter of the United Nations Association. And Melissa, why don't you introduce yourself at the same time? This is my colleague, Melissa Sheets, and go ahead.
Hi, I'm Melissa Sheets. I am a Spanish teacher at Santa Catalina School in Monterey, California. And I have been a part of the United Nations Association of Monterey County and been involved with our Peace and Justice clubs here at Santa Catalina School.
Thank you. So to start off with, Melissa's going to share a different slide that's not in the PowerPoint, I think. And so at first, the number one, the flag, it's a separate document.
Yes, I think she'll have to stop screen sharing in order for me to share a different screen.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I can do it now.
Okay, great. Dun, dun, dun.
Here we go. Would you like me
to
make that flag bigger, Deborah?
Yeah, a little bigger would be good if you can. So everyone, we're from the United Nations Association, and we're a separate organization from MUN Impact. And it's so impressive to be here today and to see all of you that are engaged with the process of supporting the United Nations. And we want you to know about our organization because we would really like all of you to join because UNA USA is a membership organization, and basically its purpose is to support the goals of the UN. And in the United States, for those of you that live in the United States, it's to try to get our government leaders to support the UN, because as you know, the membership in the UN and in all the treaties is voluntary. And if we don't have support, if we don't show our elected leaders in this country that we support the UN, then it weakens. The United States stops paying dues. It withdraws from treaties. As you know, I think it's been like 6 different treaties the US has withdrawn from in the last few years. And one of those most, the most obvious are the World Health Organization in this global pandemic. And the other is the Paris Climate Accords, with all of us concerned about climate change. Those are really big issues. So we need to advocate for support for the UN in our country. And that's the unique thing that this particular organization is. We're so excited about MUN Impact because everything that you guys are doing with MUN Impact exactly meets our objectives of UNA USA. And so I'm also the chair of the Youth Education Committee. And so through UNA, through the United Nations Association, the whole Model UN movement came about in the first place. UNA helped to create Model UN decades ago. And so we want you as MUN students and leaders to support this organization. So you can see from this slide, the UNA is dedicated to the same concerns that led the people and the nations of the world to create the UN after World War II. And go down a bit, Melissa. Can you go down? Or I can't see it. Maybe I need to go down. Anyway, okay. And so these are the values that the United Nations Association is concerned about. Okay, we can go back to the PowerPoint.
Is this a slide that was supposed to be included?
For me,
Is
it's
this a
okay. Just whatever, just start wherever. We'll make it work. I think it's this, I think it's slide number 2 of your PowerPoint presentation.
Would you like for me to play these videos?
Can you just show the just start in the order that you had it, because that was fine. That was perfect.
Um, so would you like for us to start introducing MUN Impact?
I thought you already did. Sorry, I'm a little confused. Okay. No, we're going back to the very beginning of the, yeah, slide number 2. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Whoops. Okay, no, the next one. Okay, right. So this is back to what I was saying, is that everything that you've learned about by participating in Model UN, everything you know about the Sustainable Development Goals, suggests that what the UN is doing in the world is really, really important, and they can't be strong and function adequately without the support of the international community. So the UN needs you, and we need you to join UNA as well. Okay, next slide. Whether it's standing up for human rights, eliminating extreme poverty, putting an end to human trafficking, combating climate change, or protecting refugees, the UN is working to build a brighter future by confronting the planet's most complex challenges, but it can't do it alone. While the UN is standing in the world, our organization, the United Nations, is standing up for the UN. Here's a little bit of history.
I don't hear anything.
Sorry, my bad. I think I'm gonna have to reshare.
There we go. Good. Actually, that mentions the United Nations Foundation, and about 10 years ago, there was a process where the United Nations Foundation and the United Nations Association merged together into one organization. So that's what UNA USA is part of the UN Foundation, just for that little background. Okay, then back to the next. So if you become a member with our organization, there are also some benefits for you as a person. And so I wanted you to see some of these. This is what the UNA is. It's access to the nation's largest group of advocates for the UN with a network of over 200 chapters and 20,000 members across the US. And the numbers in our membership are really important so that when we go to Washington, DC and advocate, we can say this many people in our country are for strong US support for the UN. And so by you becoming a member, you become part of that number, and that number continues to grow. And the more members we have, the more power and strength we have in Washington when we're advocating to support the UN. And then you can just see the rest of these personal growth, and that's part of the whole MUN process. We have invitations to UNA USA's annual events, which are exciting, including the Global Leadership Summit in Washington, DC, which hopefully will be back in person pretty soon. And then there's this thing called Passport, which is UNA USA's members only experience. And the next slide will show you some of the things that you can get from Passport. And this is also the professional development that comes from being a member of UNA for you that are going on to college. And some of you may want to have careers in international diplomacy or international relations. This helps you to get involved and get going on that. So next slide. So these are some of the things, extra benefits from membership, and you can just glance over that. Careers in international development, State Department careers. There's webinars on all these different things. Building your resume with UNA USA. This is a webinar about how to access that benefit. And I guess this last paragraph is the best. We know UNA USA students like you are local leaders for the UN's global goals, and especially MUN Impact. No matter where you are in the US, I see all the different states where you are North American representatives. You guys can join UNA USA, and that will strengthen the work that you do. We have a new tool for you to demonstrate your work to your peers, faculty members, and future employers. In this webinar, you will learn more about UNA USA's exciting new partnership with interview technologies and how your chapter can use this mobile app to build your members' resumes, recruit new members, and support the UN's global goals. So what I'm trying to do is just advocate for UNA USA and help you to see that these two groups, MUN Impact and UNA USA, really work together, sharing the same, so many of the same objectives. And we need you, as that little thing said, the UN needs you. Okay, next slide. So this is more about the UNA USA, which will give you a experience of it. Just a minute clip. Okay, so this is getting close to the end of this part, but so the big question is, will you stand with us? We need to stand with the UN. With the UNA stands with the UN, and we would like you as individuals to stand with us. The very cool thing is, until you're 25 years old, membership in UNA USA is free, absolutely free. So I'd like you all to stop and just write down this website right here, unausa.org/join/youth. There you can just fill in your name and your address and your information, and you can become a member for free. And you can renew every year. And again, that's important up until you're 25. Then you start paying dues, because we're a dues paying membership organization that helps to support the group. But there's also a group with UNA USA called Young Professionals. And so, yeah, great. There's a group called Young Professionals. And so we're trying to get people in their 20s and their 30s to be involved and to mobilize other young adults. As you know, a lot of times there's a lot of older people that are activists. When you go to events, you see a lot of gray-haired people, and we really need youth to pass the torch. Well, you guys are already carrying the torch, that's for sure. So that's what's so exciting. And that's why I said it gives me hope to see you all, because I'm an older person and I'm going to eventually be be bygone. But you guys will be vital and excited and moving forward to support the work of the UN. So take the work you're doing now as a teenager, as a youth, and move it into your adulthood by joining UNA USA. So I hope all of you will join. Okay, and then the last thing, oh, let me leave there 1 more minute. When you go on the website to join, they will ask you to affiliate with a local chapter. So you can either start a local chapter at your school, or you can connect to one that's geographically close to you. And for those of you that are in the Monterey area, the Monterey Bay chapter is right there, and you can scroll down and click on the Monterey Bay chapter. That way we know that you guys are members too of the local chapter. And you can be members of a school chapter, a campus chapter, as well as your local chapter. Later on in this presentation, you're going to hear about being an MUN Impact Club at your school. And you could do that and get registered as a UNA chapter as well. And you can contact me with through that email address. That's Deborah Baker, that's me. And that's my email if you want help or support to start a local chapter at your school and get registered and signed up with our national headquarters, so we can help you do that. Lastly, Melissa's going, if we stop screen sharing the PowerPoint, Melissa has a flyer for one of our local events. And both for your Model UN Impact Club and for starting a Monterey, and starting a local chapter of UNA, you have to do some events on your campus to raise awareness. And in the Monterey area, it's easy to start a chapter because we, as our local chapter, we're doing events all the time. And you can just join in with our events and publicize them on your campus, send out the links, send out the communication, and you have an automatic event for your club, just like that. So that's really cool, especially right now with everything being virtual. There's so many electronic events you can attend. So next Saturday is our Human Rights Day event for the local chapter, the Monterey Bay chapter of the United Nations Association. You can see that we have a guest speaker. Providing global education for young people locally impacts human rights globally. December 10 is it's Human Rights Day, and it's the anniversary of the signing of the Declaration for Human Rights, which some of you have talked about in your Model UN at your Model UN conferences. And so, if you want to join us, you can see where to register, the Zoom link. And I wonder if we can post this flyer so that you can have access to it. Maybe Lisa, Lisa Martin, you have contacts, and this could be sent out to people. Can you scroll down, Melissa, to show the rest of the flyer? So this tells more about who the speaker is. And yeah, normally if it wasn't for COVID, we would be having a luncheon. Oh, the last thing to say about this, go on down to the bottom. If you have a club or Model UN Impact, MUN Impact, you might be interested in this. your group can become an honorary co-sponsor of this Human Rights Day event. And it doesn't cost any money. You just have to connect and sign up. So if you send your organization's name and logo by today, actually you have to decide quickly, you could be a co-sponsor of this human rights event and publicize it out to whoever you'd like to. So we do invite MUN Impact to be a co-sponsor of our Human Rights Day, basically. That's what I'll end with. Thank you so much, everyone, and be sure to join UNA USA. Bye.
Thank you so much. So now it is our turn to introduce our organization. So a brief introduction overview of MUN Impact. Like I said earlier, MUN Impact is a nonprofit that aims to raise awareness about the SDGs, and Cynthia is actually going to speak a little bit more about this.
Yeah, so the SDGs stand for the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which were adopted in September of 2015 by the UN to address global issues and ensure a sustainable future. Some of these goals include Zero Hunger, SDG 2, Gender Equality, SDG 5, and Climate Action, SDG 13.
So MUN Impact Global is a group of students from all over the world working to promote awareness of MUN Impact and its programs, as well as knowledge about MUN and the UN as a whole. The MUN Impact Global community is led by 2 global secretary generals, one of whom is here. They oversee every region, and then below them are the deputy secretary generals who oversee the diplomat teams for each region, and those diplomat teams work with schools and clubs in their area. Our goal through MUN Impact Global is to contribute to MUN Impact by sharing its mission through informative workshops and events that teach people about the Sustainable Development Goals, Model UN procedure, or pretty much anything else. Another one of our main pillars is helping our partners start concrete SDG action plans to create a tangible impact in their communities.
So here's a short video from our end introducing MUN Impact.
We are the youth of the world.
We are the youth of the world.
1.5 billion of us affected by school closures.
Because of COVID-19.
The virus.
The pandemic.
We are the fortunate ones.
Because we can continue to learn online.
And we won't take that for granted.
Because so many children don't have access to the internet.
While they're sheltered in their homes.
Or homeless in the streets.
We have been drawn together
under one flag.
The flag of the United Nations.
To care about each other.
To care about the planet.
To learn more about the Sustainable Development Goals.
Because they unite Mother Earth with hopes of peace
and security.
And to bringing an end to this global crisis.
And what we need now, more than ever,
is hope.
I'm Afghanistan.
Nigeria.
USA.
India.
Lesotho.
France.
Myanmar.
South Africa.
China.
Brazil.
Ghana.
Jordan.
Ecuador.
Singapore.
Turkey.
Qatar.
Spain.
Republic of Korea.
Egypt.
We are a model of the United Nations.
We are the voices of youth.
And we are all online
for solving global issues.
Our work is substantive,
inclusive, and inspiring.
And we know our role models are listening.
Because we are the future.
And we are making impact.
We work to resolve issues about clean water and sanitation,
gender equality,
animal poaching,
drug trafficking,
and communicable diseases.
We offer each other new perspectives
and share our nation's policies
to resolve with what?
Solutions that we can all agree upon and put into action.
Greta isn't wrong.
Adults, in many ways, we are failures.
So take note of what we are doing with our free time.
Our education has never stopped.
We applaud our teachers who work to keep us engaged.
And our parents who try to balance work and our education.
And so, we are online doing our best to enrich our lives.
And the lives of others.
To support the SDGs.
Debate global issues.
And resolve to make this world free of this pandemic.
And free from all strife.
And make it a better place for us all.
We are the global youth.
We are the future.
We are MUN
Impact.
We are MUN Impact.
Great, so moving on, now we are going to talk about other subsidiary programs of MUN Impact besides Muni Global.
All right, so MUN at Home is an awesome subgroup within Model UN Impact that provides quality education related to both the SDGs and Model UN procedure, connecting a group of mentors to mentees. MUN at Home specifically allows students to hone in understanding of specific SDGs, form detailed policy statements, and receive high quality MUN training. Students specifically learn parliamentary procedure, how to write a position paper, and the tips on like the best practices in committee. And the versatility of this program allows it to be available in 3 languages, Spanish, Arabic, and French, as you can see by MUN and CASA. And this is also a great opportunity for students to both improve their MUN skills while expanding their knowledge of SDGs and international relations.
And we know that California is a truly diverse region, and so we also have, like Farah said, we have MUN and CASA, which is the Spanish-speaking version of MUN at Home. We also have an Arabic and French version also running.
Next up, we have SDG Hubs, one of MUN Impact's newest programs. Each hub represents a specific SDG and is a collaborative virtual space for students passionate about that SDG to work together on action projects on both an international and local scale. The hubs are overseen by mentors and student leaders who guide the students in planning and executing their projects. Unlike similar initiatives, SDG Hubs does not use a traditional top-down classroom system, instead opting to empower each student as an SDG ambassador. Furthermore, once each hub completes their project, they will receive an opportunity to share their finished product with MUNI leadership and representatives from our various NGO and corporate partners.
Zoe, can you talk a little bit about the 100K deeds?
Yeah, for sure. So this is actually one of our brand new initiatives that is launching on January 1st. You can see Miss Martin's screen is has the 100,000 Deeds logo. And basically, the goal of the 100,000 Deeds challenge is to inspire as much SDG action as possible. So basically, the goal is to encourage people to take small actions in their daily lives, things that you can do individually with a friend, family, with your school, a youth group, etc. And then record that deed on a deed card. And it's all going to be counted up towards this collective measurable impact that we're going to keep track of. So again, this is beginning January 1st, but I believe there may be a link to get more information on this. Yes, okay. If you click on this link that I'm putting in the chat right now, you can get more information on the 100,000 Deeds campaign and join it. So if you're willing to take on the challenge, please do fill that form out. And there also are leadership opportunities as well that you can take up in the challenge, because we're building out a whole leadership structure to help run it right now. So yeah, and definitely more information coming soon. That's just the gist of the plan.
Great, thank you, Zoe. And another new announcement that we have is we are coming out with an extension of MUN Impact Global that is going to operate in Spanish called MUN Impact LATAM. This is again a work in progress, and leadership opportunities will be emerging soon. So please, if you're interested, stay tuned and more information will be coming out.
Sadly, we have given you just a summary of our great initiatives and our huge impact of our world. But however, if you'd like to stay updated, you can go through our new platform on podcast, where we cover, where we talk about individuals' experiences and what inspired them to to join MUN and to continue a career along MUN. And if that's not your favorite, if you're a person that reads, you can also read the community magazine. It covers sections as our past initiative and including this year's past initiatives, as we have done a lot overall, and it will give you a great highlight of it. So, and the links, sorry, and the links are just posted in the group chat. Please click on it if you like to. You can pause, you can do whatever you like. It's comforting. Thank you.
Great. So now that we've given you an overview of the different strands of MUN Impact, we're going to talk a little bit about what it means to become a partner club, which I believe Ms. Deborah touched on earlier. So for MUN Impact, in order to become a club partner, we have two requirements. The first is that you host some sort of workshop or summit related to MUN Impact in order to help grow our community. The second is one SDG campaign that focuses on an SDG and is some sort of measurable action plan that involves your community and engages the wider audience. And so in our region, if you are to become a partner club, say in California, you'd be working with our North America team, and we have a special program that pairs a student liaison from the club with one of our diplomats, and they meet on a regular basis to discuss upcoming projects. So those are some things you can expect if you apply to become a club partner. And we have all the information for applying to become a partner that Zoe has just put in the chat.
So once you are a club partner, what does that exactly mean? Through becoming a partner, you gain the support of the entire MUN Impact community. We help you to create or take part in action projects to advance the Sustainable Development Goals. And you are also entered into a global community made up of hundreds of schools and students who are also working on various action plans. Through this community, you get to show off your own activist spirit, and hopefully you can inspire others along the way to take similar action.
Now that we're familiar with the SDG projects that all MUNI partners conduct, how can you go about fulfilling this requirement? Y'all can host an SDG workshop about one particular SDG during your UNA USA club meetings or conferences. Additionally, you can create a local SDG challenge to reach out for awareness campaigns. Separate from our personal impact, how can we also inspire others to take action for the SDGs? Well, we can expand the scope of our SDG workshops and reach out to other clubs or conferences.
So many students ask how they can actually make a tangible impact in their community to advance the SDGs. And a great way to actually make this impact is through creative community projects or SDG projects. So everything from civic engagement to promoting bridging the inequalities in STEM and can intersect in these community projects and can promote SDG 4, which is quality education. For example, the other day I saw students from a partner school using an innovative platform to teach children in China Model UN procedure. This will help advance SDG 4. So SDG projects are an amazing way for students to take real and substantive action towards achieving the SDGs in their communities.
So we have actually prepared a very abbreviated version of what like an overview of Model UN could look like to your respective clubs and schools. So it's like going to take under 5 minutes, and our diplomats have just put together a very quick overview of Model UN procedure. So we're just going to go through that really quickly.
I'll be covered. This is my turn. When you do a conference, you have to look at the 4 aspects of the conference and everything. So that's the position paper, opening speeches, committee debates, and resolutions. In summary, position paper is supposed to give you a document that states what your country's views are, the country you're representing's views, and what past actions you've done. And then there's opening speech. They follow the same lines together. The only difference is you have to structure your words so it fits 1 minute, so you can announce the House what your country's views are and what you want to prioritize in the discussion. And then there's the committee debates. From the opening speeches, the committee uses those information and comes up with subtopics that used to progress the discussion. When the discussion is progressed, hopefully, as always, it goes to resolutions discussion. The resolution discussion is where committees may be divided into blocks or divided into groups or collectively together, write a document with solutions on it. And that Obviously, these sections will be in-depth discovered, will be talked about, but overall, the resolution aspect is supposed to be the concluding factor of the topic, the solution and whatnot. And we'll talk about it in the next slide. Thank you.
Yeah. So position papers serve as your country's official stance and are submitted to the chairs before the conference. Here, delegates define the topic background, mention their country's role in addressing the issue, state their country's official policy on the issue, and offer other possible solutions to address the issue at hand.
The second part of an MUN committee is opening speeches. They are delivered within the first hour of the committee opening and are an opportunity to explain your country's policy, introduce your resolution topic, and key sub-issues you want the committee to focus on. Also, this is likely the only pre-written speech that you'd bring to the conference, so it's key that you try to explain your country's position and propose solutions as concisely as possible. Lastly, keep in mind that, these speeches are anywhere from 45 seconds to 1 minute and 15 seconds, so be sure to time yourself when rehearsing. To write an opening speech, there are some persuasive principles that you can use. First, you need a hook to grab the committee's attention. This can be an anecdote, a shocking fact or statistic, or an appropriate joke. Next, you want to make your main point clear. For example, what is your country's policy in this topic? Lastly, you'd want to end with a call to action by providing resolution ideas. Additionally, you can also use Aristotle's triangle of rhetoric to guide your speech writing process. The 3 points of the triangle are ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos is an appeal to credibility, pathos is an appeal to emotions, and logos is an appeal to logic and reason. By combining elements of ethos, pathos, and logos in your speech, you can clearly communicate your message to the committee.
So after opening speeches is normally when debate begins, and community debates happen primarily in 2 ways, either moderated or unmoderated caucus. Moderated caucus is run by the chair and normally covers one topic at a time. A delegate will be able to put a motion to the floor to talk about a specific issue, and then people will raise their placards in order to speak. There's normally a speaker list with a limited number of delegates able to speak and a time limit for everyone's speeches ranging from 1 minute to 2 minutes normally. Moderated caucus is used to find out delegates' opinion on specific topics. And so this is a great way to learn how other delegates and their countries feel about a specific issue. On the other hand, unmoderated caucus is very informal. Normally, the chair will set a certain amount of time for unmoderated caucus, such as 30 minutes or an hour. Within that time, delegates are able to talk to each other freely. They normally use this time to form blocks or alliances with other delegates, negotiate stances on issues, and work on writing and finalizing resolutions to be put toward the committee later.
So the overall goal of a MUN block is to create what's called a resolution, which is a formal written document addressing the block's ideas for a topic. And a resolution typically consists of these 4 areas. The first area is a heading, which consists of the sponsors and signatory nations supporting the paper. The second is the committee name. This is a formality in writing the full name of the committee right below the heading. And then the third is the preambulatory clauses, such as alarmed by or recognizing. And this conveys the reasoning for which the committee is addressing the topic and also highlighting past international action on the issue. And the fourth and most important section are the operative clauses, which give the concrete measures the committee is going to take to address the issue at hand. And typically in Q&A, which comes later in committee, most of your questions, if not all of your questions, will be related to your operative clauses.
Voting, the last part of the conference that everyone is excited about, as that is where the tension is built up. Majority of the time after the resolution and throughout when you point out for a moderated caucus to or set the topic of discussion on, it usually gets voted upon. Sometimes depending on the conference, there have a different like counting procedures. Sometimes it could be 2/3, it could be half of the committee, or just a good majority. But you should never, sorry, but that's a good point to point out, because at resolutions, it's a bit different. They have a little bit more stricter. You could say no, yes, and then you can also now have an opinion on on whatever's happening. And these are very important parts of the resolution or about the conference, because it concludes it or whether or further extends the discussion of point at hand. Thank you.
Great. So that was a very quick overview of Model UN procedure that we put together in order to show you how simple it is to put together a presentation for your club or your school, anyone interested in learning about procedure. And so now this brings us to the end of everything we had prepared. So we wanted to take the remaining time to see if there were any questions that we could answer, or perhaps for Ms. Deborah and Ms. Melissa, we can just answer questions.
And if you want to know more about how to get involved, like the different leadership positions that are available, we can also talk about that.
I can just jump in and say something. Hello, everyone. I'm here lurking and listening. One thing, we'll drop some links in. If you would like to continue debating online, as it was mentioned at the beginning, the MUN at Home is a great opportunity. We also have a middle school program and a high school program, and the numbers since COVID-19 have increased something like 16-fold, and they are now running one MUN debate every single week starting in January. So if you're interested, I would really encourage you to sign up, and a little bit of experience goes a long ways. They are looking for moderators, chairs. There are just lots and lots of opportunities to continue the actual MUN part of it, if that's what you're looking to do. In fact, I even know right now they are taking signups for the moderating team. So again, go to our website, follow us on social media, or just reach out to any of our North American diplomats, and they will point you in the right direction. And if I can make one other comment about the MUN Impact Latin America initiative there. Basically, it's like MUN Impact, we just duplicated it into Spanish. We work with partners in North America that are, in Quito, Ecuador, who are really driving this forward. But there's going to be a major campaign. It actually launches officially next week, called Latinos Unidos, which is throughout Latin America, really focusing on SDG 10 and what's happened to inequality due to the pandemic. And it's going to be a capstone. The capstone event will be a major UN conference next year in December. So we are looking for youth leaders, particularly Spanish speakers, who can promote the SDGs, promote MUN, promote youth dialogue, the whole youth component. MUN Impact is the youth partner for this particular initiative, and we are looking for Spanish speakers. So lots and lots of leadership opportunities. Please be in touch if you have any questions, and I turn it back over. Sorry for hogging the floor. I now yield it back to Irene.
Great, thank you. Does anyone have any other questions? We've included a lot of links and information in the chat, so please feel free to take that with you. Applications and signups links are all there, and we'd love to see you at any future initiative from MUN Impact. And of course, please think about registering as a UNA USA club as well. But yeah, if there are no further questions, yes. Oh, I think you're muted.
I just want to say how much I appreciate all of you. And I've been to lots of MUN conferences over the years. I'm a retired teacher myself and an advisor for MUN clubs. And often you see students get so engaged in the process, the competitive process of MUN. What's always been a deep passion for me is to see students go from that educational experience and the simulation of what happens at the real United Nations, and then transfer it to support for the real United Nations. And what you're doing for the Sustainable Development Goals is so fabulous. I love the focus on activism that you have in MUN Impact. And just keep it going. It's so inspiring, and we need to kind of bring it together in an intergenerational way. Older folks need to know that you guys are doing what you're doing, because we need to know that you're on board the way you are. And I suppose my generation needs to to take responsibility for the fact that we have not passed on a very good world to you guys. And you know, each of us has tried to do I know for me, I've been an activist for decades and have tried to do my part. And sometimes when you can't make as big a change as you'd like, at least you know that you did what you could. And that's so satisfying. You know, someday you'll have kids of your own and you'll be able to say, you know, in this situation of the world, you know, maybe it didn't change on a large scale, but I did what I could to help move that forward. And that's what you all are doing. Just whatever little steps that you can take makes such a difference. And actually, you're creating a huge movement. I mean, just you can see that one-on-one as it grows and grows and grows, that is going to make a difference. It is going to, when 2030 rolls around, these sustainable development goals will be more achieved, you know, will have created tremendous amounts of achievement. I know that from being around when the Millennium Development Goals were done in 2000, which is probably a time when a lot of you were being born. And at that time, they made goals to accomplish by 2015. And by 2015, we didn't accomplish all of them, but huge, huge strides had been made. And that's what's going to continue to happen. So then the goals were readjusted for till 2030, and we have to all do what we can for sure. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. I don't know how many of you are from the Monterey area, but just want to remind you of my email. It's youth for the numeral 4 UN. It's very easy to remember, youth for UN. And if you need scholarship monies for participating with conferences, our organization has money that we will contribute for your Model UN experiences to help grow that. So contact me. The last thing I wanted to say about creating a chapter, campus chapter of UNA USA, it's a little harder than what you might want to start with MUN Impact Club, because if the chapter part, the requirement is you have to have 3 events per semester plus 1 advocacy issue that you take on. So that's, but actually, as you see, that's only 2 more things a semester that you would be doing for the MUN Impact Club anyway. And if you have a local chapter, you can plug in, like I said, to what they're doing, and that can be your event. So it's not as hard as it sounds to do 3 events. We always want to give attention to UN Day, October 24th, which is the anniversary of the signing of the UN Charter. And then Human Rights Day is in December. So there's 2 dates right there. And then we like to draw attention to International Women's Day and Earth Day. So you can do something for these, and then you have the events under your belt. So it sounds hard, but it's not as bad. So email me, youth for UN, and I'll help give you guidance. I'd be happy to come talk at your school or do anything that I can do to help spread the message. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And from our end, I left my email, Zoe's, and Apurva's in the chat. So if you have any further questions after today, please feel free to email us. If you have any hesitation about applying or signing up for an event, please reach out to us. We're so happy to be in contact with you. And also, Miss Lisa has put her email into the chat. So if you have questions about Latinos Unidos or any other specific programs, you can reach out to her as well. But otherwise, thank you so much for attending. And we were so happy to see everyone here today.
Thank you.